Rewind, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart getting set for semifinal number dos. As this is going to be a good one. Davis, American Fork, this is a traditional battle. Let's start first with the Davis Darts. Maybe a surprise team getting the semifinal for the first time since Jesse Wade was here, but a good team and 2 good wins.
Yeah, and I mean, different styles as well. Had to go up against Westlake, a team that moves the ball, moves really well, able to get them in overtime, and then against Kearns, wide open, up and down the floor, and Davis able to control the tempo in both those 2 ball games. Tyson Garf was big, but in that quarterfinal, it was Leonhardt that really took advantage of opportunities. This Davis lineup, anyone can step up and score on any given night. It's a load to deal with.
Well, you got Garf that can light it up from inside, outside, but the outside man on this one is Jake Sampson.
Yeah, and he really found his shot, particularly in the second half against Kearns, and everyone keys on number 3. It's only a matter of time before he gets going. Once he does, you can be in trouble real fast.
He had a huge second half against Kearns, and he'll need it again today as American Fork. How about huge second halves?
Yeah.
They needed a huge second half as they barely got past Copper Hills. They were down double digits in that ball game, came back. This team is led by Isaac Johnson as the headliner, but he's not the straw that stirs the drink for Coach Ryan Cuff.
That's right, Cuff. I mean, first year at American Fork, and what a year he has had. And he's been, I want to say, one of their more consistent scorers, right? And Johnson's been fantastic, dealt with an injury earlier this year, but Tanner Cuff, this young man, what he brings helps to space the floor a little bit, create options for Stewart and for Johnson and for Hayden Franson. This American Fork lineup is deep.
I call Tanner Cuff the straw that stirs the drink, but the mix might be just be Trey Stewart. He came up huge, especially in the fourth quarter.
He really did, and he's really rounded out into a complete ball player. Whenever I think of Trey last year, I'm thinking of the Trey. This year it's about getting to the rim, and even that mid-range game, Trey Stewart had a really fantastic first couple of rounds of this tournament. Watch for him to show up big today, and what would be a really fun matchup, Trey versus Dallin.
Also, keep your eyes on Franson. That young man will light up from the outside. Semifinal 2 coming up. AF Davis, online only on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Utah High School Activities Association, welcome to Weber State University for the boys 2019 6A basketball semifinal game presented by Mountain America Credit Union. This game features the designated visiting team, the American Fork Cavemen, and the designated home team, the Davis Darts. Let's meet the starting lineups. First of all, for American Fork, he is a 6'7" senior, number 1, Tanner Cuff.
Welcome into the D-Event Center on the campus of Weber State University. Game 2 of the 6A semifinals. The Region 1, number 2 seed Davis taking on the Region 4, number 2 seed American Fork. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart of Deseret News Rewind with you. As always, our commentary brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Our scoreboard this week brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. Dane, this is a very interesting matchup. AF was hanging by the hairs of their chinny chin chin on Wednesday. Came back to get a clutch win against Copper Hills, taking on Davis, who played really well against Kearns.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they eventually just found their club and started beating the Mustangs. And, excuse me, that was the wrong
Grizzlies.
game. Darn it. Grizzlies. That would have been so good. Well, you know, and I think if you're American Fork, they'd learn some things about themselves, right? And, you know, Copper Hill spreading them out all over the floor, but they were finally able to get back up and down the floor. They got that tempo back. And you look at this team, it's a long, lengthy lineup, and I think it poses some matchup issues for these Davis Darts.
Well, when you look at American Fork, everyone want to talk about Isaac Johnson. Everyone want to talk about Trey Stewart for good reason, but it's Tanner Cuff that's kind of, in our minds, been the difference maker of this team.
Yeah, the straw that stirs the drink, right?
Yeah.
And the Straw's had a really good tournament, and what he brings to American Fork is he allows them to spread the floor a little bit and provides that third scoring option and then allows a guy like Hayden Franson to just absolutely roam the floor and fill in gaps where they appear. But the thing you got to love about Cuff is that he isn't selfish with his play. He looks to distribute the ball to other places, and you got 5 legitimate scorers on the floor for American Fork. It's what makes them really, really tough.
You look at Davis. This is a team that struggled a little bit in the first round, but it got out of the game. And in the second round, they really played very, very well against Kearns. And part of the reason why it was their outside shooter, Jake Sampson, started to find his stroke.
Yeah, and I really thought that K.O. Fisher in the early part did a nice job of establishing himself and some physicality. And then as Kearns started to focus on the inside, then it's let's get Sampson involved. And he really started to stroke the ball from long range. And the Davis Darts, Dusty, they are playing the best we've seen them all year long. We've seen flashes of Davis this year where it's like, oh, that team right there for that 4 minutes, that 8 minutes, that can be a team to make noise in the state playoffs. And in the first and second rounds against Westlake and Kearns, they've played like that for all 32. And watch out, because the Davis Darts right now, they are playing bullseye basketball.
You got to look out for Tyson Gar. That was good.
Thanks. I am looking for Dartman. I'm looking for Dartman. I don't see him.
I don't see him either. Well, you can't see anything. They're all in camouflage.
Good point.
Yeah.
And, Dusty, we've done some great games over the years, and the Davis student section has been great. Look, disappointing in the first 2 rounds. They showed up for the semifinal. This is the biggest student section. I think it maybe even beats Olympus.
It's really close to what Olympus had in round number 2.
You hear that, Titan fans? You better get out here for the semifinal coming up tonight.
Actually, round 1 was bigger than round 2 for Olympus.
Yeah.
I think it's because earlier in the day, get out of school. So here we go, Davis and American Fork. Look for good ball movement early from Davis is a big key. Outside now, Leonhardt working on the freshman Moyaki.
Boy, Leonhardt, a young man that got off to a hot start in that first quarter for Kearns in that quarter. A lot of missed defensive switching, and Leonhardt was able to take advantage.
Outside with Garf. Off the screen, Leonhardt. Garf wide open, 2. Lips out, and it's Johnson with the board. Cuff quickly pushing up the floor. Moyaki looking inside to Franson. And now set it up with Cuff. Outside, Trey Stewart. Skip over Franson. Open 3. Got it. 3-0, American Fork.
Tanner Cuff might be the straw that stirs the drink, but Hayden Franson is he's the seasoning that no one knows is in the drink, but makes the drink really, really good.
He's the good stuff in that. So 3-0 American Fork. We asked Coach Sims, what are you going to do today? He's like, well, we're going to get about tempo-wise, and he said we can do both. He said, I think we have to do both. We had success today. You do not want to get in a running game against American Fork. Sampson blocked by Cuff. Wanted a foul call after the block, not going to get it. On the run with Stewart. Trey leave it for Johnson. And the 3's off the buckle, and the rebound to K.O. Fisher. Leonhardt to Garf. And his 3 won't go. Tyson 0 for 2 to start, and he's been the guy for Davis in the state tournament. As Stewart gets his little mid-range J to roll home, and it's 5-0 American Fork.
Good start for American Fork, and look at them here getting into a little 3-quarter court, trying to pick up the tempo. They don't want to allow Davis to slow things up here. As Johnson, as Redford brought that ball around, maybe could have been called for the foul. Nothing there from the officials.
Sampson up top now with Redford. Redford give it up to Garf, guarded by Moyaki. Here comes Fisher to set the screen. And now a moving screen call on K.O. Fisher. Much to the pleasure of head coach Ryan Cuff.
Yeah, this is not the start that Davis wanted. And just this American Fork defense, they've shown up here early on.
Inside to Johnson. Jump hook won't go. Johnson starting 0 for 2 on the push now. Leonhardt on the angle. The Sampson gets it back. Leonhardt driving on Stewart. Fisher got it over to Garf, and understandably so. Tyson doesn't force a lot of stuff. And in the first 2 hasn't gone. He wants to make a better decision. Here comes Redford. Now Fisher, and he's fouled. Then we'll see if this goes on Stewart, if it goes on Moyaki. And it goes on Moyaki. The young freshman will call it on the floor and will inbound along the baseline.
You know, you look at this American Fork lineup, and Stewart, a senior, Cuff, a senior, Johnson, a senior, Franson, a senior, and then there's the freshman Noah Moyaki. And I really think this young man is going to have himself a heck of a prep career, and he's going to be a guy we're going to be talking about a lot for the next 3 years for American Fork. Good size to him. He comes off here after having picked up his first, but Noah Moyaki, run to the point, does a fine job for Coach Cuff.
In the last few years, you've had a lot of freshmen, guys that have had great careers at the start as freshmen. Think back to Spencer Johnson, Brendan Bailey. There's a steal by Trey Stewart. And Stewart stripped by Garf and will stay here. And Trey not pleased with himself, not having the strong hands on that one.
Well, but a great job by Garf getting back, especially after a tough turnover. And it's a great job by the defense of American Fork not allowing that pick to roll at all, but ends up in American Fork basketball after the turnover.
Cuff send up top to Stewart. Johnson skip over to Smith. McKay Smith +1 and a foul to Sampson. Timeout coming from Coach Sims. 4:31 left in the first, and it's an 8-0 start for American Fork. You're watching 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Mountain American Credit Union is proud to be the new title sponsor of the Utah High School Activities Association. Visit macu.com for more information. And thank you, Mountain America. Whether you are a parent, coach, or student athlete, knowing more about good nutrition can lead to success on the court and in the classroom. The Dairy Manufacturers of Utah and Dairy List are proud to sponsor the UHSAA state tournament. If you want to learn more about dairy and nutrition, visit dairywest.com. Jimmy John's is a proud supporter of the Utah High School Activities Association. Stop by your nearest Jimmy John's location today to try their new 9-grain pizza. Made with the best of the best ingredients and baked fresh every day in store. Now available at a Jimmy John's near you. Freak yeah, Jimmy John's.
4:31 left in this first quarter, and Dane, what a start for American Fork.
That's been great, and Coach Sims can be frustrated about a call on the and one on the three and maybe a missed call down here. He's trying to get these officials to see what he's seeing. But that being said, I don't really feel like it's been blatantly one-sided one way or the other here in the early going.
I think his biggest frustration was that no call, what he thought was a foul on a three-pointer on Sampson, and then Sampson picks up a three-point foul and on a shot where he didn't even hit the floor.
Hey, let's continue to play a little game here. We got the even leaner Dusty coming up later tonight in the officials. We got Rob Riggle underneath the basket.
That's a good one, yeah.
We're a little far away. Sometimes when you get closer, you're like, I don't know what I was seeing. But from far away, Rob Riggle's elected to join us for this 6A semifinal.
It was really good. I actually just saw him on an episode of one of my favorite shows the other day. As Lienhart, 4-3. First points of the game for Davis. And it's Lienhart knocking down the triple.
I mentioned he was the guy that you go back to that start of Kearns. And a lot of the high screens that Davis would use, Kearns would double team off and left him open. He was able to take advantage. Good to see him get a shot as Trey Stewart feeling good.
And Trey with the tray, and it's an 8-point lead for AF.
How about 3 made triples for American Fork here to start? And if you're Davis, it's just weather the storm, guys. Just weather the storm. Get back in this thing.
Redford, strong move. Sends up top, Lienhart. Now Sampson. Now Redford. And Brandon, who's been very, very good, might have been a little surprised to draw the call here from Johnson. As Sampson drives hard on Moyaki, can't get it. Loose ball in the hands of Sampson, and now it's Johnson with the rebound over Fisher.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of body-on-body contact going on in the post, and they've let it go, Dusty. for the first 5 minutes. You're going to continue to let it go.
On that one as well, a lot of contact, no call. Redford hands off to Sampson.
You know my message in officiating is just be consistent. If you're going to let it be physical, let it be physical. But once you start to allow how the game's going to be played, you got to finish it. There's another one.
Yeah, if it's going to stay this way, then there we go. Tyson Garf's first points as Smith gets that one to go.
And I actually like it. I like allowing a little bit of physicality in the game, but I grew up in 80s and 90s basketball.
Leonhardt leaves it for K.O. Fisher. Junction jumper is good from Fisher. And Coach Sam's yelling at his team. He wants him back. He does not want AF to be able to get in transition.
Yeah, he talked to us and said so much of what they do is built off of their transition game. Really want to do a good job of setting up the defenses. Here's really the only caveman to struggle in the early part is Johnson able to rattle home his first field goal.
And nicely done there by Isaac Johnson, and it's, again, an 8-point lead as Leonhardt, nice take, +1 for Leonhardt.
Guy who got things going with that early made three for Davis, and a nice take. And again, it's just weather the storm. And you start to feel like Davis starting to get their footing here in the later portion of this first quarter.
Leonhardt had that good game against Kearns you mentioned earlier, Dane. Kind of was the lost man on the floor for Davis most of that afternoon as he knocks down the free throw. 5-point ball game, AF 15, Davis 10 with 1:35 left in the opening quarter. Winner take on Pleasant Grove. And it's a three.
I was going to say a lot of PG fans here. I don't know if they're cheering for the black and red, but they wouldn't mind seeing PG AF 3.0.
Three from Garf, off the mark, and a rebound to Johnson. I'm curious to know, does PG, are they cheering for AF because they want to play him one more time? Or if it's we just don't cheer for him ever?
Well, I know some PG fans, and they would love to play him one more time because every time PG beats AF, they get to throw a little shade my way.
Hey, I'm on the side of the royal blue. I'm in.
I know you are. Yeah.
By bracketology. Truthfully, I don't care if I get my bracket right, but it is kind of nice. Inside to Smith, and Franson maybe waited a little too long to get that ball inside to Smith.
Yeah, rocket, and it's one of those things where when you look at the first 4 or 5 minutes of this ball game, I mean, AF shot from the floor at an incredibly high percentage. You know they're not going to do that, right? So you just hunker down, keep playing good defense, and eventually you're going to be able to get some opportunities to start chipping into that lead. And just like that, Davis can get back to within one possession.
And Redford had that one go off his leg, and it'll be American Fork basketball.
Well, I was maybe surprised there wasn't a whistle inside again, but it goes back to that consistency thing. Allowed that physicality up to this point.
Inside of a minute left in the first quarter, down to 40 seconds. This is Stewart. Oh, nice hands there by Arrington. And now Cuff. Oh, beautiful move by Tanner Cuff, and it just rolls home. And it's a 7-point lead.
What a nice move by Cuff.
That was a terrific pirouette.
For anyone who wonders about Tanner Cuff's quickness, there you go.
There's a lot of people thinking, why can't he be a point guard in the next level? As up top of Garf on the angle was Sampson, 5 seconds. Sampson inside to Garf at the horn. And it crawls off, and it'll be uncontested free throws here. No one in the lane for Garf. As the first quarter comes to a close, that foul will go on Franson. And it'll be the third team foul on American Fork. So it'll be Garf going to the line to make it a 5-point game to end the first quarter.
They only got 10 points for Davis.
They're putting they're putting time back on the clock. 0.3 seconds left.
At the line for 2 shots, number 21, Tyson Garf for Davis.
Yeah, the foul occurred with time still on the clock as Garf hits the first.
I've seen more ghost high fives this week. Maybe I just didn't pay attention during the regular season.
You know what? My darn second job here of keeping stats has preempted me from seeing every single one of them.
Splits the pair, and that's the end of one. It's American Fork 17, Davis 11, and it's the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
The Utah High School Activities Association is proud to use products from Wilson Sporting Goods. For athletes to perform their best, they require the best. And that's what Wilson has delivered for over 100 years. Learn more at wilson.com. Don't forget to visit the shirt stop to pick up your state women's t-shirts and hats. The shirt stop creates and designs the highest quality custom apparel in the state of Utah. If your team or company is looking for retail quality screen printing, embroidery, or promotional products at a killer price, be sure to reach out to the folks at the shirt stop today. The benefits of high school sports and activities extend beyond the four corners of the court and the walls of any auditorium. From lifelong lessons in hard work, perseverance, and teamwork to leadership skills and citizenship. Learn more about the NFHS Arms and Life Campaign at nfhs.org/myreasonwhy. And from time to time, we'll have to pause the game to take a live video timeout. So thank you for your patience. Cheer now, and the coach-ass camera might come your way. Second quarter possession area. To American Fork.
Start of the second quarter, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Dane, a strong start here for American Fork, leading 17-11.
Yes, it was, and McKay Smith and Trey Stewart have combined for 10 of those points, both able to hit threes in this ball game. I think AF has done a really good job of executing for Davis. Where do you go to try to find points? Leonhardt has 6, but other than that, it's been tough sledding.
Stewart misfires on the three. Here comes Redford, gets into cuff, sends out. Leonhardt, his second three of the first half.
I'll tell you this, Leonhardt needs to be considered for all tournament team. He has done a fantastic job of helping to ignite the Davis Darts now. By the way, I never like it when I have to call people out. You know, I don't like to do that, Dusty. I was very unfair earlier in this ball game. Dartman is here.
Dartman is here.
We saw Dartman.
Stand outside that team huddle.
Yeah.
He got floor access.
Man, not even my, all access green badge gets me down there.
Not during the game anyway.
Yeah.
As Sampson moved over to Redford. Now Arrington. Inside to Garf, working on Moyaki. The senior takes the bump, gets the bucket. And it's a one-point ball game.
You know, we talk about guys that have had really good playoffs, and Tyson Garf, another one of those for Davis. He's been a multi-year starter for Coach Sims, and just crazy to think he's finally a senior and chance to help deliver Davis to the state championship.
Redford goes to reverse. He's fouled by Franson. It'll be Brandon Redford going to the line looking for 2 free throws. That's a second on Franson.
It's a big foul on Hayden Franson. I mean, whenever we talk about American Fork, I do my best to try to include number 12. He really is kind of that blue-collar guy. Fills a lot of lanes and does a lot of good things for American Fork and some of the real physical battles. I mean, you've got a guy like Isaac Johnson, who's kind of more that stretch 4, stretch 5. Requires someone inside, and really Hayden Franson's been that guy for American Fork. And he now has to head to the bench.
And Redford splits the pair. We're tied at 17.
Nice tap there from Cuff over to Isaac Johnson. But you talk about the comeback. I mean, this was what, 8-0, 9-0 out of the gates for AF?
Yeah, it was 8-0 right out of the gates as Johnson fouled by Redford. And it'll put Johnson at the line. And it's the first personal foul on Redford and the 13th foul on Davis.
You know, that's good use of the hesitation by Johnson that time. Gets the ball inside. And just a little pump fake and allows for the contact from Redford to come in. As he went back up, and I'm a big fan of the pump fake on the inside. You get good positioning with the basketball. So oftentimes defense just difficult to stay grounded literally. And Isaac Johnson able to pay it off with 2 free throws.
So back to a 2-point lead for American Fort. Has been a good start to the second quarter for Davis as Redford gets around Cuff and he's traveled, got caught that pivot foot, got excited. Cuff left his feet, and he just drug his pivot foot.
Yeah, good call by the officials. Multiple had it. We both saw it right on top of that one.
Rigby setting to check in as they get inside to Johnson, give it up Moyaki. Moyaki to Stewart, and it's Trey Stewart kissing off the window, and 7 points now for Trey.
And this is what makes American Fork so different. I mean, you have Isaac Johnson down the block, but then his ability to pass out to 6'4" and 6'5" all over the floor. It's just so difficult to match up with their length across the board.
Tough pass going to be handled. Ahead to Stewart. Again, Gar for the second time has taken away layups from Stewart with good hands.
I'll tell you, Trey Stewart tonight, 7 points. He's been strong to start. But when he lays down, he's going to feel 21 just coming, because Garf has just not given up on any of these plays, especially some of these fast breaks.
And nice play there once again by Garf. Cut off the baseline, and Smith coughed it up. Here comes up the floor, leaned hard, 5.5 to go.
It's one of those things when you think about, PG waiting in the wings for one of these two teams. If you're AF, PG gets back just as much as Davis does. It's going to be something to really try to key in on, should AF be able to win this ball game.
Rigby over to Sampson, pulling for 3, and it's a lead. Davis pulls it within 1. Got a little excited on that one, and it's 21-20.
Nice range from Sampson on one that drew some rain. Garf coming in, another turnover.
On the push, here comes Leanhart. Rigby comes out for the screen. Leanhart, and he stepped out of bounds. Tried to tight wire that one and just couldn't quite do it.
It's a nice job by Johnson. They set that high screen. Both defenders for AF stay with the basketball, and there's just nowhere to go. And, there's a little bump down on that baseline, but I agree with the no call there. And ball heads back here to AF.
Flinders comes on for Coach Cuff as Stewart drive the base, try to send it through, and goes to Moyaki. And then it's Redford on the steal. Cuff right with Redford, takes a bump, and then there's the call. And it'll be Brendan Redford who's down. He fell awkwardly there.
Yeah, he took a hard fall as Cuff was trying to race back and do his best Garf impression. Redford holding that left arm. Well, maybe just adjusting his sleeve.
You gotta look good to feel good to make the free throws.
Second foul on Tanner Cuff. Just the spacing by F on that previous play wasn't good. Had a couple guys there and a little bit of a lazy pass, allowed for Redford to come underneath. And you should talk about guys that do a lot of hard work. Brendan Redford, one of those for Davis.
And he misses the first. Brennan, he split the pair on his first ones. It tied us up at 17. And splits it here, and we're tied at 21 as Johnson hit the deck there. Make sure he didn't turn that ankle.
2 for 4 for Redford at the line today. And Davis, we talked about when they play well, Dusty, they are a tough out, and they've played really well here in this first half. Tough shot.
Again, a lot of contact there on the block. Out to Flinders. Won't go, and the rebound taken by Sims. And he'll have back to Leonhardt. Chance for Davis to take the lead.
How about that? Who would have thunk when it was 8-0?
And they kept spacing it back to 8.
Yep.
Davis kept scoring, and so did AF. Sampson for the lead. 24-21. Timeout, Coach Cuff. 3:57 left and a half, and it's the Davis Darts leading American Fork 24-21 in the 6A semis.
Get $75 when you open a MyStyle checking account and non-American credit union. With MyStyle checking, you'll earn rewards like gift cards, cashback, event tickets, and more. For details, visit macu.com. Want to replay of today's game for free online at live.ksl.com, featuring Dean and Dusty. Stats and standings are available at matchbets.com, the official stats partner of the UHSAA.
.357 left in the half, and the Davis Darts, Dane, start down 8-0. We're down 8 multiple times. A battle through and now lead 24-21.
Yeah, and it's big Jake Sampson in this second quarter. Just see 6 points, all those from beyond the arc. Leonhardt shot the ball well from beyond the arc. The three-point shot keeping Davis in this one, helping him with a lead here.
Johnson fouled. Oh, and count the bucket. And Johnson will go to the line for the three-point play.
Is that foul on? It was on Tanner Sims.
His first, the fourth team foul. In for American Fork, number 2, McKay Smith. Johnson shoots one shot.
And so Isaac Johnson going the line. He's got 6 points on the afternoon. And it won't go. Trey Stewart. So good.
So good. Man, tell you what, UVU is getting a good one. That's why, as college staffs, you want to get on kids early, right?
Yep. And Moyaki could not save it. Leonhardt gets it into Rigby, who had that poked away by Johnson. ZF leading by 1. And now Cuff knocks that one out of bounds. Good defense here from American Fork just on his inbound. K.O. Fisher comes back on the floor for Coach Sims. 3:15 to go in the first half. Garf loses the handle as he goes to the floor. Redford with the steal, but right to Johnson. And a travel or something. No call. Redford makes it 26-25, Davis.
Isaac Johnson getting away with something.
That would have been a Greek tragedy had they...
A travel or something. That was...
And just pass over the top of the double team, and it's McKay Smith with the bucket.
A good afternoon here for McKay. 7 points. Is this one going back and forth here?
Along the baseline, KO sent outside to Leonhardt.
Much better job here on Sampson this sequence. McKay Smith, man defense here from AF. Not allowing a lot of space for Sampson to try to get open.
Sampson hand back to Redford. There's no shot clock, Utah High School basketball. Davis can continue to reset their offense as much as they need to as Garf contested. Jay, what a shot from Tyson Garf.
So impressive because it didn't look like he had any space. And Tyson able to elevate. That's the benefit that the length of Tyson Garf can give you. And that's a lengthy kid for Davis.
And Johnson's shots long, kind of caught Sampson off guard. Moyaki with the board. Smith hand back to Stewart. Trey down the lane. That should be a charge, yes. Rigby, Garf was waiting on that one.
It won't be at the next level.
No.
But we're not at the next level, are we? We're in the state semifinal.
Or next year, if I had my way.
Yeah.
But
Good job by Garf of standing there and taking that one.
But it is today. As Sampson will head back to Redford, and you'll see the weave here from Davis. Straight away, Tyson Garf from way outside. Bang!
That's a bit of an exclamation point for Garf. I mean, not a guy that is going to take over and dominate the ball in a game, but he's feeling it right now.
And how about Isaac Johnson with the answer? Back to a 2-point game, 55 seconds to go here in the half. And these nets are a little tight. I mean, this is as close to a peach basket as you're going to get. Off the screen, here comes Sampson.
Unless you're in Brigham City, don't they have peaches in Brigham?
Yes, they do. Here comes Trey Stewart to tie it up with authority. 31 all.
And you just see some of the slyness of Tanner Cuff just come in and just kind of slow up in front of Redford to assure the slam for Trey.
And now Garf will hold it up top, looking for the final shot here. Garf got to be aware of that, closely guarded. 5 seconds, there it is. He never quite lost Trey.
I thought he did. You didn't think he lost him on the drive?
I thought so at first too. The official watched it. He kept the count the entire time, so I'll go with the official on it.
Yeah.
Coach Sims accepted whatever the explanation was.
Well, I know Coach Cuff was calling. He was yelling, that's 5, that's 5. Finally got it.
Down to 7, Tanner Cuff. And he's fouled on the way to the hole by Cale Fisher. And it'll be Cuff going to the line with 4.4 left in the half.
You know, one of the things that you love about what Tanner Cuff brings this team, Dixie, right? I mean, he was the leader on that team last year. He knows how to come through for his team, but he's got the mindset where he doesn't have to be the guy. He's happy to distribute the basketball, but when you need a play, he's shown that he can be that guy, and here with 5 seconds left, able to draw the foul and get to the line.
Back rims the first. Got one more. And splits it. Benson Brown coming on for Trey Stewart. As Redford can get a run at it. 2 seconds. One, he'll count if it goes. And what a first half. Entertaining. American Fork leading 32-31 over Davis. The winner gets PG. You're watching the 2019 6A semifinals, brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital and also Heinemann and Associates.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center court for a Utah High School Activity Association award presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past several decades, Weber State University has been a proud partner of the Utah High School Activities Association, hosting various high school championships and becoming a premier venue for Utah high school postseason events. Tonight, the UHSAA staff, on behalf of their member schools, honor a friend and beloved colleague of the association. Retiring after 39 years as the Director of Facility Services for the university, Jody Lake is joined on the floor tonight by UHSAA Executive Director Rob Cuff, Assistant Director Brandon Jackson, and Weber State Athletic Director Jerry Bovey. A special thanks and appreciation to Jody Lake for her 39 years of committed service to Utah student athletes and to the member schools of the Utah High School Activities Association. For her support of high school activities as we honor with a warm round of applause, Jody Lake of Weber State University. Ladies and gentlemen, Jody Lake. Ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, welcome the American Fork K-Vex drill team, performing Twin Mix. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the floor, the Davis IPX, performing No Excuses. And now it's time for the free throw contest, brought to you by America First Credit Union. With the white jerseys, we have Cole Fairbanks and Chase Nigan from American Fork. In the blue jerseys, Carson Christensen and Chase Potter from Davis. Each player will have 30 seconds to shoot and make as many free throws as possible. At the end of 30 seconds, whoever has made the most baskets wins the contest. The lucky winner will receive a $25 Visa gift card and a $20 Megaplex movie card, courtesy of Mountain America Credit Union. Players ready. On your mark, set, go! Our winners from American Fork, Cole and Chase. Congratulations and thanks for participating in the America First Credit Union free throw contest. America First Credit Union, where members come first. If we can get the Corner Canyon and Olympus scorebook keepers to please come to the scores table. Corner Canyon and Olympus scorebook keepers, please come to the scores table with your scorebook. Thank you. Third quarter possession area. To Davis.
Start of the third quarter, Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart, Davis. Dane, that was a strong second quarter. AF, though, able to hang on or hold them off and come out with a 32-31 lead at the end of the first half.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Sims, I mean, you look at the halftime box score, Dusty, and it's actually very, very close. You want to know the one place where it's quite different? Turnovers. 9 turnovers for Davis in that first half, just 1 for American Fork. But you talk about the length for the Caveman. They had 11 rebounds in the first half. Davis had 10. They've really been able to hang with American Fork in this first half, cut down the turnovers, and Davis may have the lead.
And a nice job of sticking with that, and Isaac Johnson giving American Fork a 34-31 lead.
And that's really how they were able to stick in some of their three-point shooting. 50% from beyond the arc for Davis, and it's Leonhardt keeping that percentage high. Or Sampson.
Sampson with the 3, and now a foul to Redford. And it's the third, no, pardon me, I looked on the wrong side. It's the second foul to Redford.
My apology to the Sampson family. I saw Leonhardt give the old fist pump, and I assumed it came from him, but how about that? Now 6 of 11 from beyond the arc are the darts.
Just absolutely torching from the outside as Cuff can't get that mid-range shot to fall.
With Davis shooting well, important for AF to not feel like they have to match 3 for 3.
That's something Coach Cuff told us on Wednesday. We can't fall into the three-point game. As Garf turns it over. Stewart gets around Sampson. Sampson able to knock that out of bounds. And Trey Stewart's got to feel like, what I got to do to be able to get out in the open court?
Right.
Garf stripped him twice in the first half, and then there from behind, Sampson able to knock that out of bounds.
Yeah, he had the one dunk, and it was when Cuff was able to kind of shield away Redford. But you're right, it's been tough sledding for Trey Stewart in the open floor, largely due to the Davis defense.
Here's Cuff in the lane, hanging on a pivot, give it up to Johnson, reverse it, score it.
4 points for Johnson here in this second half, and a great job of Cuff by finding it. Nearly traveled with that one. Almost got caught dragging that foot, but was able to hand off with Johnson.
Into the corner, now up top with Garf. Is Leonhardt working on Cuff, hand back to Redford. Redford, nice move and finish. Brandon Redford.
Well, great job working on Franson just to set up that spin move back to the rim. Yeah, 2 heavyweight boxers here going punch for punch.
And Franson straight away, can't get it. Sampson, hand back to Garf. Garf cross court, just got that to Leonhardt.
Both of these teams talked about the importance of rebounding as a big key in this ball game. And some of those long shots by AF have really almost given the possession to Davis. They've done a great job of clearing out some of these offensive rebounds from American Fork.
Here's Garf hanging on the outside. This is some of that offense that Copper Hills showed.
Yep.
As Garf working on Moyaki, give it up to Leonhardt.
The difference here is I don't know if K.O. Fisher has that same ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter as Trevin Alfrey, but there you go.
Beautiful pass, and it's Fisher laying it in, and a 2-point lead for Davis.
And that time Fisher was just able to go on the other side of the rim, and as Johnson came over for the help, allowed K.O. to just finish softly.
Johnson, the elbow was up, yep. Saw that coming, he got elbow before that turn. And Johnson caught for the foul. So one team foul piece to start here in the third. 4:45 left in the third quarter. Davis up 2. As Sampson sent outside to Garf. Garf with 10 points, leading the darts. Nice move on Stewart. Send to the corner. Fisher, Leonhardt. Oh, nearly bad spacing as Garf pulls for 3 and it's short. Moyaki on the rebound. Noah cross court to Trey. 4-3, short, and that gets out of bounds off of American Fork.
Trey misread that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of waited. I was like, wait, Stewart didn't see it. Maybe I didn't see it right.
Yeah, I thought it did go off Isaac, and I think Trey just That came off Davis because he certainly could have saved that ball had he, and would have had a great opportunity too.
Up top of Fisher. Now Garf. Sampson can't get the three. That's out of bounds off of Moyaki, I think. No, and off Leandhart. And it'll be American Fork basketball.
Well, that's one that Sampson would love to have back. This Davis section, Dusty, you start to feel them picking up some momentum and gaining some confidence. If that three would have gone, look out.
Timeout on the floor. 3:55 left in the third. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DesireeNews.com.
6A semifinal game, live on KTAS television, made possible by University of Utah Health Plan.
.335 left in the third quarter. You see the scoreboard brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. A law firm dedicated to winning for you. Give them a call, 801-472-7742. I want to thank Justin Heidemann for his support of Deseret News Rewind's coverage of the 6A and 5A state tournaments right here on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. As foul will go to Sampson. There'll be 2 free throws for Isaac Johnson.
And AF has had about enough of this game.
Actually goes on K. Fisher.
Yeah, picking up his third. They get entry to Johnson. And as Davis comes down, Johnson passes it back out. They work it around again. Johnson that goes baseline, drawing the contact on Fisher. And you look at this third quarter, Dusty, and they have been intent on getting Isaac Johnson involved. All 5 points from American Fork here in the third quarter have come from their senior 4-star Isaac Johnson.
And the free throw won't go. So Davis up 1 after the split free throws there from Johnson. 3.5 to go in the third quarter. And Dane, this is back-to-back tough games here for American Fork. Copper Hills gave him fits, and now here Davis.
You know, and how about 3 different styles for Davis in their first 3 games? I mean, they've had to compete against Westlake, Kearns, and AF now in 3 very different ways. And Coach Sims, what a job he has done for this Dart squad in this tournament run.
And we kind of started, well, not kind of, started today talking about the fact that playing the best basketball at the right time is Redford. Able to get to the rim and finish. 8 points for Redford, quickly down the floor, and Franson can't make the catch. And it'll go back to Davis.
And one of the things that Davis has really been allowed to do is play freely, Dusty. I mean, first round matchup against Westlake, and all the talk about how good Region 4 is, and Davis just able to go out and just play basketball. They get a win there. They go up against a region champion in Kearns, much more athletic than them. Just going to go play ball, get a win there, and right here going up against a team that has been one of the favorites to contend for a state championship, they and PG. And again, just go out and play. And, you know, had to kind of weather the storm early on, but right now they are getting looks at the rim time and time again.
How about Leandhart's take and finish there, 42-37.
And here's what you got to love. Leandhart with 11, Garf with 10, Sampson with 9, Redford with 8. A lot of balance coming from Davis.
Sampson with the strip. Leandhart to the corner. Harrington waits, gives it up to Leandhart. And now he's got Johnson out to the key. See if anyone cuts backside to get the layup.
5 out.
Leonhardt gets around Johnson, and the layup won't go. Quickly ahead, Cuff. Can't finish, and Arrington with the rebound. On the run, here's Redford.
That's a tough finish for Cuff.
Just got that off. Leonhardt to Sampson. 4-3! Johnson can't catch it, and it's an 8-point Davis lead.
Davis has sped up American Fork, and now they are rushing. In fact, Trey Stewart turned around and said, slow down, calm down. I had to tell the same to Isaac Johnson coming back.
1:40 left in the third. 8-point Dart advantage. Three once again. And it's Arrington this time. An 11-point advantage.
Davis continuing to really scorch it from the outside here at the D Event Center.
And now a strip. Garth, Redford, bodies hitting the floor. And an offensive foul on Davis. And it's going to go on Garth. Much to the chagrin of Davis fans who are feeling it right now.
Yeah, they are. Hey, I made the comment a couple minutes ago. There was a three that didn't go from Sampson top of the paint. And had it, the lid for Davis would have come off. And you can start to feel that, Dusty. The Dart's playing with a ton of confidence right now. And AF, they don't know where to go for offense.
Right now, the ball's moving, but bodies aren't. To steal a phrase from Steve Kerr. Smith outside to Cuff, straightaway three short. Moyaki with the board. Young freshman left it short. Trey Stewart. How athletic is that? And Trey's trying to be the leader. He did this on Wednesday night against Copper Hills.
Man, not many times you can pick that up with your offhand underneath, come back to your right and finish while still at the peak of your jump.
What makes me mad is I've done that in my dreams, and I keep waking up. I don't know if I actually make the bucket. 10 seconds left in the third.
How about a 17-7 third quarter for Davis?
3 seconds. 2, Garth fall away, short. We go to the fourth quarter, and the Davis Darts with a 9-point lead on American Fork. You're watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Get $75 when you open a My Style checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. With My Style checking, you'll earn rewards like gift cards, cash back, event tickets, and more. For details, visit macu.com. Ladies and gentlemen, each year the Utah High School Activities Association has sponsored an academic all-state team to recognize those young men who have excelled in the classroom as well as in competition. The Deseret News has joined with the UHSAA as title sponsor for this prestigious award. To view this year's academic all-state winners, please visit UHSAA.org and check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about prep sports online at DesNews.com. Deseret News, now you know.
Start of the fourth quarter, Dusty Lidster, Dane Stewart with you, and all week long we've been thanking Heidemann and Associates for their sponsorship of the scoreboard. The full-service law firm there to win for you. Give them a call, 801-472-7742. Thank you to Justin Heidemann for supporting Deseret News Rewind. As Cuff floats it. Wow. I didn't know if he was trying to get that up to Johnson or not. Doesn't matter. And it's a 7-point game.
Yeah, that one seemed a little strong, but able to come back and die down off the rim. And, you know, Johnson is trying to establish himself in the post. He's trying to be physical down low. Be interesting to see if that's where AF continues to try to go. It was a decided point in that third to get the ball in the blocks to 33, and good hands there by Trey.
Ball goes out of bounds, and we'll stay here with Davis.
Got to keep those heads on a swivel if you're in the stands, especially here at the D of Ensign. You are right on the action.
.24 left here in the fourth quarter. 7-point lead, Davis on top of American Fork.
Good job by Johnson there of not allowing the drive and an offensive foul. How about standing in and taking it? And it's the young freshman Noah Moyaki coming up with a huge play. Second foul here on Brendan Redford. And foul here away from the ball.
But how about Davis? I mean, that's a tough one there to take that one to the hole and wipe it off. But that would have given Davis a 9-point lead once again, but it's a third personal foul on Redford.
Well, and the 15th foul on Davis.
Into Franson. Franson fouled there by Arrington, and that's now number 6 on Davis. 16 fouls to 1. Something to keep your eye on. And actually, that's a thing I always bring up in games. But, Dane, we haven't had a lot of these games get like this week. Is a timeout on the floor. 6:57 left here in the fourth quarter. Davis up 7.
Whether you are a parent, coach, or student athlete, knowing more about good nutrition can lead to success on the court and in the classroom. Dairy Farm Families of Utah and Dairy West are proud to sponsor the UHSAA State Tournament. Want to learn more about dairy and nutrition? Visit dairywest.com. The Utah High School Activities Association is proud to use products from Wilson Sporting Goods. For athletes to perform their best, they require the best. And that's what Wilson has delivered for over 100 years. Learn more at wilson.com. And don't forget to visit the Shirt Stock to pick up your state hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. The Shirt Stock creates and designs the highest quality custom apparel in the state of Utah. If your team or company is looking for retail quality screen printing, embroidery, or promotional products at a killer price, be sure to reach out to the folks at the Shirt Stock today.
.57 left in the fourth quarter. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. And the winner gets Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove impressive in the third and fourth quarters. Actually, end of the third and all the fourth quarter against Fremont to get to the state championship game. And these two, Dane, absolutely duking it out as Davis just continues to play terrific basketball.
Yeah, and one of the things, I mean, there was about a 2-minute span there where AF started falling back in love with that three. Important here for them to not get frustrated. Stay patient within your offense. As Johnson here with the left-handed hook, and that one, I mean, doesn't even turn around to look at the rim before getting it away. That's a tough shot for Johnson.
Yeah, a little bit of a force there from the big guy, future Oregon Duck. As Davis now up multiple possessions. I don't think you're going to start seeing the stall game, but definitely taking their time as Sampson now fouled by Johnson. It'll be the second team foul on American Fork.
You know, and the one thing right now, I talked about a little bit in the third, if you're Davis, you're playing with house money, man.
Yes.
Like, you're not even supposed to be here. All the pressure on AF. This is supposed to be the year. We talked about the seniors. A lot of good recruits on this team going D1. All the pressure right now on AF to try to find a way to come back in these last 6:33. If you're Davis, just go let it fly, man. Go play, have fun.
6.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Garf send outside to Arrington. Arrington tied up by Stewart, no whistle. Sent out the Leonhardt. Garf thought about it for a moment. Cuff coming out, trying to get that steal. Garf inside and gets the foul on Franson. It'll put Tyson Garf at the line for 2 free throws.
That's been a piece for AF today, and Hayden Franson, 3 points. Those coming back in that first quarter. And boy, they would love to find a way to get him more incorporated. As you see the frustration there on Franson. Johnson going to come back on here as Moiyaki heads to the bench.
As Garf knocks them both down, 9-point lead, 6:12 left here in the fourth, and AF still yet to get into their flow and their game. Lob over to Johnson. Johnson terminates it. It was K.O. Fisher that came from behind, and that's a tough one as Fisher picks up number 4. And that's as much as, we talk about this all the time, as much of optics as anything else. Isaac knocks down the first.
14 now for Isaac, 13 for Trey. And Dusty, we talk about tough ball games, and we just talked about Franson with just a 3. Tanner Cuff right now with only 5 points for American Fork. And so some of the guys that have been there to help kind of assist Johnson and Stewart all year long have struggled a little bit today. And you know, you got your headliners in Isaac and Trey. Do you go to them, or do you try to relieve some of that pressure by finding Cuff and Franson some opportunities? I think that's the big question right now for Coach Cuff.
Absolutely, as Garf pulls for 3. Short rebound to Smith. And now we got a stoppage.
Boy, I didn't see it, but he's reaching for his ankle. Not good. Davis going to need that young man.
And we've seen some lower leg issues this week, and we hope that Brandon Redford is not serious, as he is in a lot of pain on the floor.
Oh, yes, he is.
We'll step aside as we go to the break here. 5:48 left in the fourth.
Number 5, Jack Rigby.
Redford able to get off the floor, needed some help, and it wasn't his ankle. It seemed like they were checking his knee there, but I don't know that Redford's going to come back. And what's hard is that state championship game's tomorrow. So if Davis were to hang on here, they might be without one of their best players.
Yeah, certainly don't know the severity. I mean, it did not look like a good fall, and boy, it'll be interesting. What does Davis do without him? I mean, Redford, you know, only has the 8 points, but I thought he's been really good defensively and dealing with some of the length of American Fork. As we're still in a TV timeout, getting ready to come back from that here. But if you're Davis, where do you go? And, you know, KO has 4 personals. Redford now out of the ball game with an injury.
Yeah.
Depth. I mean, who's going to come off the bench and help make plays to close out the number 2 team in 6A?
Well, and the team has played so well as Johnson now hits that mid-range jumper, and it's a 5-point game, 5:35 left.
You know, and I love that. And I know Coach Cuff, when he came in, it was teaching Isaac how to play with his back to the basket. But go back to Isaac Johnson's strengths, and it is that little 15-foot jumper. We've seen him try to back things down. He's rushed things, gotten a little out of rhythm. Go back to where he's comfortable. Engage that in your offense. Love the decision there by Cuff.
And you got to be careful of the 5-second call. Get it out to Sampson. Sampson now Leonhardt. Into the corner to Arrington. Skip to Garf. Timeout, Coach Sims. 5:06 left in the fourth. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
Strong Auto Group is a proud sponsor of high school sports. Strong Auto, charging ahead. The Utah High School Activities Association is proud to use products from Wilson Sporting Goods for athletes to promote and advance their requirements. And that's why Wilson has been doing for over 100 years. Learn more at Wilson.com. Jimmy John's a proud supporter of the UHSAA. Stop by your nearest Jimmy John's location today to try their new 9-grain pizza. Made with the best of the best ingredients and made theirs every day in the store. Now available at a Jimmy John's near you. Drink ya at Jimmy John's.
.506 left in the fourth quarter. Davis trying to advance to the state championship game. First time in a long time for the Davis Stars. They're able to pull off the upset here against the AF as that's out of bounds off of Leonhardt. I thought that was off the foot of Cuff.
It certainly took a trajectory that sent it towards AF. I don't know if Leonhardt's foot would have allowed that. The pressure by Cuff certainly forced the dribble, but yes.
And all you can do, if you're Coach Sims, all you can ask for the other official to come in, have a conversation. What did you see? What did you see?
Now, if we were in college, we would stop 15 minutes, be at the table, and at the end of the day, we'd come back and say it wasn't definitive, and it'd be the same call anyway.
As Stewart misses that, and some Davis fans saying ball don't lie, but would they have gotten it right? 4:45 left in the fourth, and Stewart nearly had a strip. And that's now the 14th foul on AF. Because in the end of the day, we just want to get it right.
The most important thing is that we get a call with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter right, because it's not like we've had 31 minutes and 50 seconds of other gameplay.
I won't play into it. We could do this for hours.
Yes, we could. By the way, I was not a proponent of replay from day one, I'll have you know. I was on that bandwagon early.
Hand outside, Leonhardt comes to trap, and that's a dangerous pass to Sampson.
Look at the pressure the AF bringing defensively now. Oh, boy.
And that's now the 15th foul on the Cavemen. As they've had a couple of close ones. Stewart had that one before. You got that one there. Those 4 points.
Now that pressure has picked up some of the team fouls. 5 team fouls now for AF. Only one more to give for the Cavemen here in the game.
Moyaki pressuring Leonhardt. And now that's the 16th foul as we're inbound on the baseline. And Moyaki now with his third personal. Leonhardt gets that into Garf. Garf working on Johnson. Got that up to Arrington. Now out to Sampson. Pressure comes from Moyaki, and there's his fourth personal. 1-1 free throws now for Jake Sampson.
I think if you're Davis, I've seen 2 games of Davis this year, well, before the playoffs, so now we're at 4 and almost 5. I think this is the guy you want. 3-point shooter. And Redford coming back on the floor. And the Davis fans, the fans on their feet, the student section already was, but welcoming Redford back in, and a great sign to see Brendan Redford back in this ball game.
Yeah, we were talking off camera, and I said nothing scares you more than a hyperextension on your knee. Everything, the sound and everything, and as an athlete, you fear popping an ACL, and that scares you. And I've been there. As that free throw, both free throws good there for Sampson. Push it up to a 7-point advantage for Davis. Cuff working on Redford, fall away and got it. What a finish there by Cuff.
I really thought he would be a guy that you'd want to get more involved, particularly here late, if for nothing else, to try to free up some space for some of these other players. Is Cuff here with the kick.
As Moyaki will come back on, he's got 4 personal fouls. And they don't know who he's going to come in for yet. He'll come in for Isaac. Which is an interesting decision because we also need rebounding to.
And Moyaki with the 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're in the back half of this fourth quarter. If I'm Davis, I'd drive right at him.
Leonhardt just gets this out to Garf. And now he's fouled by Trey Stewart. Number 3 on Trey. And it'll be Garf going to the line for 1-on-1 free throws. Coach Cuff talking to Trey Stewart. Hey, we want that ball to go side to side and try to go after these skip passes. Garf. And it goes off, and it's Redford with the rebound. And now Sampson with it up top. 3.5 to go in the fourth.
You talk about that substitution. There's no guarantee that Johnson's on this block, but that's why that height on the floor becomes so important. Redford able to come in and get a big offensive rebound for Davis.
Timeout Davis, full timeout. 3:26 left in the fourth. Crunch time in the 4A semis.
For details, visit macu.com. Stats and standings are available at matchbets.com, the official stats partner of the UHSAA.
.326 left in the fourth quarter. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, Deseret News Rewind with you. And Davis has that ball tipped. Here's Tanner Cuff. Lob it up to Johnson. And one.
You know, it's one of those things, Dusty, where for the last several minutes, there's been angst by the AF students and freedom and enjoyment on Davis. And just like that, I mean, you knew this game 5-6, that it was just a play or two away from American Fork as Johnson misses another free throw. And AF, if they can't come back in this ball game, will look at the free throw line today.
That's where Cuff was going for that steal, couldn't get it. It'll be 1-on-1 free throws in the other end. And Tanner, got to learn the long arm, the football stuff. Got to go long arm. He goes to that right hand. He might get to that ball. Second personal foul there on Cuff. And Garf back to the line. He missed his last 1-on-1 free throw.
Johnson on the floor here for this one. In fact, now they're going to bring on Franson as well. Substitution will be for Moyaki.
And Garf knocks down the front end. Got them both. Big from the seniors. K.O. Fisher comes back on, and Arrington will come off. 5-point lead for Davis. Into the front court. It's Johnson. Back over to Cuff. Inside, and Johnson with the hammer. Full timeout taken by Coach Ryan Cuff. He saved them all up for the last 3 minutes. 3:05 left in the fourth. .305 left in the fourth quarter. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. And got 4 timeouts left for American Fork, 3 timeouts left for Davis. And so close to 5 seconds. And then the foul will put Leonhardt at the line. That is number 4 on Trey Stewart.
So now you've got a tough decision because Trey has been electric, and his defense has been, he's certainly pressured, and I know he's got 4 personals, but a lot of those came when AF was trying to pick up the fouls to get Davis to the line. Can he find a way to keep up that defensive pressure without fouling here for the last 3:04?
So Johnson and France come on as Flinders and Moyaki come off. And the second good.
Trading 2s for 2s right now.
Send up top to Smith. Outside Franson. Try to feed that into Johnson. Just able to get it. Johnson fall away. Yes. How about Isaac Johnson? Timeout, Coach Cuff. 2:50 left. 30-second timeout.
It's like there's some miscommunication there. It's almost like sometimes like full, 30.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Coach Cuff just couldn't quite decide.
You said, how about Isaac Johnson? 10 points in the quarter. And again, I love this, right? So Davis, I think, has done a really good job of trying to disrupt Johnson in the post. And so these last couple of times down the floor, rather than trying to big body him down and break him down in the blocks, it's let's turn around, face the bucket, 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot from the baseline. That's what Johnson is more comfortable with. So he's going to do at the next level. And when you need points here for AF to try to trade the 2s for 2s to keep this ball game, I think that's the right decision for American Fork.
I agree, 100%. And now for American Fork, can they find a stop?
That's the big question. And, I mean, you talk about all the fouls, and it's double bonus the rest away for Davis. How does Davis handle that pressure? We talked about the ability to play free, but the later this game goes with this game tight, do they start to tighten up? And can you continue that pressure without fouling? Because what we've seen is a lot of foul called on that pressure. And if you're AF, can you keep that pressure without sending them to the line? Because eventually you're going to run out of players.
Here's the other part. Davis has made their free throws.
With the exception of Garf on that 1-1-1, you're exactly right. A lot of 2 for 2s.
And they rebounded the miss.
Yep.
Up the floor, Leonhardt. Now over to Sampson. Got to get it across the timeline. Coach Cuff wanted 10 seconds, didn't get it. As here's Garf. Then they wanted to travel, didn't get it. Here goes Garf, sent outside to Vernon. And here's if you're going to try to take timeout, I know you're trying to force a foul. AF doesn't need to give a foul. And for Davis, I mean, I know you don't have to put a shot in the air, but it's only a one-possession game. And now the foul to Johnson. Oh, jump ball! Wow. Now, here's the thing. Johnson's really long, but I know he has really long arms. It's hard to think he got around the body without ever getting to the body.
Yeah. I thought that was a foul. I thought that was a foul. Coach Sims doesn't like it. The Davis fans don't like it, and I can understand why.
Well, the positive, if you're a Davis fan, jump ball possession belonged to Davis. So just get to run more time off the clock.
Gotta be careful. Trey here with the 4. Again, he's right up on Leonhardt. Now coming over to triple team.
As Leonhardt going to back things out. But again, for Coach Sims, now Johnson does pick up the foul. That's number 3 on Isaac. Double bonus free throws coming up for Leonhardt. And right now, if you're a Davis fan, Leonhardt, the slow start, Leonhardt was the first one to kind of get moving here for the Darts, and now at the line looking to push us back up to 5-point lead. East is in the building. They'll watch that Olympus game. And a free throw, no good from Leonhardt. Surprising miss here for Leonhardt. He missed the first, got one more. And splits the pair. So a chance for American Fork. A 3 makes it a 1-point game. The 2 changes things up a little bit.
Don't need a 3. Just don't force anything here if you're American Fork. Show patience.
Trey Stewart can't get it. Missed an opportunity. Johnson was right there. That's off of Redford. Off Redford, and it's American Fork basketball.
Well, you said Johnson was right there. Missed him. He was coming on that backside. And if you're just a second earlier on the look, you have an easy lob to Johnson for the dunk.
I get the fans' frustration a little bit, but I'll say for officials, I actually think they've been consistent tonight. A lot of contact all over the floor. Got it into Johnson, but it went through his hands.
K.O. Fisher contesting.
It's
Trey, got to be careful.
Yeah, Trey Smith here picked up number 5.
There's
10 seconds. Timeout to Coach Sims.
Wow.
1:35 left in the 4th. We got a crazy minute and a half to go here in the 6A semifinals. Full timeout. We'll take it with them.
Visit MaxPreps.com for stats, schedules, rosters, and more. MaxPreps, America's source for high school sports. The Utah High School Activities Association is proud to use products from Wilson Sporting Goods. For athletes to perform their best, they require the best. And that's what Wilson has delivered for over 100 years. Learn more at Wilson.com. Check out the Deseret News for the best place to read about Prep sports. Online at DeseretNews.com. Deseret News, now you know.
1:35 left in the 4th quarter. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with it. Davis up 4 with the ball. Possession arrow belongs to AF. And luckily for Davis, they got that timeout. They were nearly a 10-second call and got that one across at 7 seconds as that was nearly stolen by Cuff. Here's Sampson. Johnson right there. Now the steal. No! It goes in the back court, and it is back court. Saying it went off of Leonhardt. Pardon me, off of Sampson.
Sims was trying to call a timeout.
Let's see if we get another look at it. But tough one to go against Davis, but if it goes off of Sampson trying to call a timeout, then it's not touched by the defense. And then there is no, that contact is not a foul. 3, yes! A 3 for AF, timeout, Coach Cuff. Isaac Johnson just will not go down. 1-point game, 1:11 left. Don't go anywhere. Let your friends, family, aunts, uncles know. We're live on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com.
are proud to sponsor the UHSAA State Tournament.
1:11 left in the fourth quarter, and the boys dressed in black coming back. It is the Dark Knight, Sir Isaac Johnson, leading the way. 26 points on the night, a huge fourth quarter.
I almost thought you said the Dart Knight, as in the Davis Darts. I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense.
Johnson with 13 points in the quarter. And Davis got to get the ball in. Got to get. No, they did in 5 seconds, and it's American Fork basketball.
We asked, can you amp up the pressure without fouling? The answer, yes. What a job by American Fork.
Moyaki will come off on the offense-defense swap here with Trey Stewart. Cuff.
Same question, there you go.
Smith for the lead. McKay Smith from the outside. Timeout, AF. They come all the way back and take a 2-point lead. We'll stay here, full timeout. Not going anywhere, we got to talk about this.
All right. How about a 20-9 fourth quarter for American Fork, Dusty? It looks like they are in the doghouse. I mean, they're done with 4 minutes left, and all of a sudden the defense generating turnovers over and back, an inbound play, 5-second call on the darts, and the three by Isaac Johnson, and now McKay Smith. The interesting thing here, Coach Cuff called the timeout with 1:08 left. He's just got one left. Davis has two. But man, how about the comeback put on by the Cavemen? And Isaac Johnson, good for him.
Yes.
This is a young man that, unreal in the AAU circuit and off season. Then you come and you watch him as a junior. It's like, man, if he played like he would over the summer, and this year, his senior year, he has played like he has over the summers, and high school basketball fans in the state have finally gotten a chance to see him play like the 4-star athlete that he is, committed to go to the University of Oregon, and what a game for him today, 26 points.
We talked to Coach Randy McAllister, and AF fans watching this are rolling their eyes. But we asked him about the game against Harriman, and PG being down double digits against Harriman. Said, these seniors, these guys, was the feeling, the desperation? He said, absolutely. So I looked at him and said, you have 16 minutes left of your high school career, you seniors. It's on the line.
Yeah.
And my feeling is Isaac Johnson, he watched his brother Spencer, those great teams that couldn't quite get over the hump. And here he is, his high school basketball career on the line, stepping up and having a huge, huge game. So now Davis, they've been playing with the lead in the fourth quarter. How do they respond being down 2? Tyson Garf, right to the rim, blocked by Johnson, they got a foul. Number 4 on Johnson, and it'll put Tyson Garf at the line.
Boy, so fortunate, because I actually thought on the play that Garf drove himself too deep, got underneath the basket as he tried to throw it up. I thought Isaac was pretty straight, wasn't quite certain if there was body contact there or not, but bailed out, and Garf with a chance to go to the line here, shooting 2.
Got the first. Tyson's been the man. in the state tournament. Johnson left his feet. And Garf now to tie it up at 59. Front rimmed and the rebound to Johnson.
Cuff had to look and make sure his heel wasn't across the line.
And now a foul to Leonhardt. And can American Fork make free throws?
They haven't in this ball game, Dusty. They've left a lot of points on the line, especially in the first 3 quarters. And now you've got pressure situation coming up for a senior, McKay Smith, who's had a whale of a ball game. 10 points for McKay.
And he had the 3 that gave AF the lead. Rolls home the first.
That was the 9th team foul. So AF going to be shooting double bonus the rest of the way.
Knocks them both down, 3-point lead, 61-58. Davis already knows their play, up the floor with Leonhardt. To the corner, picked up by Stewart in the hands of Garf. And it's a block, and that is number 5 on Noah Moyaki. It'll put Garf back in the line with 37.8 left.
Man, talk about being in the right spot. I mean, probably shouldn't have tried to save that ball, but the save goes right to Garf, and in the scramble for AF to try to defend it, Moyaki going to pick up his 5th, and he's fouled out.
Dane, there's nothing like these basketball tournament games when it gets to this.
Right.
I was texting with a parent from someone we covered for years today, and he said, "Are you excited about today?" I said, "I love semifinal day. Semifinal day is one of my favorite days of the year because of games like this. It tends to be the best day if it's football or basketball."
You know the great thing about having it at the D Event Center, and I know a lot of parents are like, well, we don't want to drive up to Ogden, but when you get this building full, I mean, right now we're probably, about 2/3?
Yeah.
When you get people in this building, it's small enough that it feels intimate and energy and packed and awesome, but big enough that you can get a good crowd in here. I agree. There's nothing like semifinals at D Events.
Garf got the first and the second. 61-60. AF still has to make free throws. There's Cuff. Been in the middle of the floor, and I thought Smith might have been stolen there, and then maybe a foul, and then there's the, you missed it earlier. You got to give it to him here.
Well, yeah, Smith took it right across the eyes. And probably should have been going to the line earlier, but he'll head to the line here shooting 2. Garf picking up his 2nd.
McKay Smith is calmly knocked down 2 in his last trip to the line. Double bonus. Rolls off the first. The door's open. 2 timeouts left for Davis, 1 timeout left for AF.
4 fouls on Trey Stewart, 4 fouls on Isaac Johnson for AF.
Got them both. Down 2, 28 seconds left. Leonhardt down the base. Reverse it. No, it won't go. And it's Johnson with the board. Cuff with the ball and the foul to Garf. His 3rd personal. But Leonhardt trying to go Stratton McCausland. Couldn't get it to go. And now Tanner Cuff at the line.
And for Leonhardt, clear the mechanism. Get that play out of your head. So easy to focus on that and let that take you out of the ball game. Cuff, 2 shots coming up, but they're going to need Trevin in these last 19.8 seconds.
And Cuff is short on the first. Timeout, Coach Sims. 19.8 left. You are watching the 2019 6A semifinals on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, your orthopedic specialty hospital. Scoreboard brought to you by Justin Heidemann and Associates. 19.8 seconds left. Yeah, the first free throw was no good from Tanner Cuff. The door, as I said earlier, is still open for Davis. One timeout on each side. Double bonus for each team's possession arrow belongs to American Fork. Cuff makes it a 3-point game. Timeout, Ryan Cuff, the last timeout for the Cavemen, and it's a full timeout, Dane, and let's stay here. If you just joined us, American Fork was down a lot. I mean, it was double digits. It was 5-7. It looked like it was Davis heading to the championship game to take on PG. AF kept sticking around. It was number 33, Isaac Johnson, that kept this team in this game.
Yeah, and started it with a couple of baseline J's. Hit a big three. But for Isaac Johnson, how about the rebounding? And, both these two teams have struggled a little bit from the line today. And Davis has had opportunity at the line, and Isaac Johnson's come up with a pair of big rebounds to help get the possession back for American Fork. But you're right, Dusty. 26 points for the senior, 13 of them coming in this fourth quarter for American Fork.
Well, Davis trailing by 3. Dane, if you're Coach Sims, it's got to be Jake Sampson time, right?
I actually don't know if I rush the 3. I think if you can get a good drive, if you can suck the defense, maybe kick it. But right now, I'm still playing the just get me a good shot aspect. And so I don't know that I'm forcing a Sampson 3. I think if you can find him open on a drive and a kick, that's fine. But even something mid-range or at the rim, particularly because AF hasn't shot free throws real well. They've gone 1 for 2 on several tries, and if it wasn't for Davis matching them, this game might be tied right now. So I think I'm still kind of playing the 2 game for Davis, but they do have 1 timeout left as well.
We got fans watching all over the place, including Sanpete County. Buckle up. Outside with Sampson. 10 seconds. Sampson on the drive. Try to send out to Redford. Now they got to play for the 3. Leonhardt for the tie. Whoop! It's good, and we will be heading to overtime maybe. Stewart for the win. Leonhardt at the horn, giving Davis a 63-63 tie. Stewart's shot almost went.
Tell you what, Dusty, it was a drive and kick. Disrupted the passing lane and brought everyone near side the skip pass over. And just a moment ago, Leonhardt, the reverse dunk, said, clear the mechanism, young man. Got to get that shot out of your mind. He has a chance to tie it up, send it overtime. Leonhardt nails it. And we get extra basketball here in the 6A semifinal.
This building has put up some good games this week.
Yes, it has.
And just put this one to it. I love the decibel level we just heard in this place.
By the way, folks, so, I kind of took a little bit of self-credit. The man who doesn't take self-credit, we were that last time out, and Dusty says, Dave's going to hit a 3 here, and we're going to overtime. I heard it.
Oh my heavens, what a game.
Phenomenal. Now, here's the biggest key. On Isaac, 4 fouls on Trey.
And outplay huge here in overtime. Now, there's 2 ways of playing overtime.
There's the Jordan Maple Mountain way,
which was like 3 possessions long. And then there was the Davis Westlake option, which was just an extension of the fourth quarter up and down the floor. More so up and down the floor. So is a team going to get the opening tip, put the ball underneath their arm, and hang out around midcourt? And the tip controlled by AF.
Moeyaki's already fouled out for American Fork. We should add that as well.
As Cuff holding on the angle up top to Smith. He hit the 3 that gave AF their first lead, and a steal by Leonhardt. He saves it into Sampson.
What a play back in by Leonhardt, knowing he was losing his footing. Had to save it. Great job.
3.5 to go here in the fourth. Up top with Redford. Now Arrington. Inside to Garf. Stewart with 4 fouls, and it's a steal by Johnson. Cuff ahead to Stewart. Got Franson under the hoop, and Franson let that go. Coach,
he thought it was a shot. He thought that ball was going to hit the rim, so Franson pulled back, and I think it did hit the rim.
Yeah, it did hit the rim. It skipped off of it.
Yeah.
So a missed opportunity from American Fork.
And you go back to that second and third quarter. How many times did American Fork try those long passes to get under the rim and overthrow it? That play has not worked very well for American Fork today.
Garf doesn't get it to drop, and that is number 5 on Trey Stewart. Trey Stewart, one of the best, if not, well, arguably one of the best player on the floor for American Fork now, goes to the bench, and they'll bring Flinders off the bench for Coach Cuff.
Trey has now fouled out with 13. So Trey Stewart and Noah Moiaki both out of this ball game. And we mentioned at the start of overtime, Dusty, that was probably the big key. And Garf, once again, we talked about it again, late. Davis been doing a lot of 1 for 2 at the line in the back half of regulation, and Garf goes 1 of 2 here.
1 of 2. The seesaw still possible. 64-63, 2:55 to go in overtime. If you're just joining us, Olympus Corner Canyon will be next as we will set the 6A championship. Cuff doesn't get it. Johnson can't get the tip. Loose ball, tracked down by Davis. Leonhardt, foul by Franson, and that is the 4th now on Franson. It'll put Leonhardt at the line.
Been a tough day shooting for Tanner Cuff. An open 3, top of the paint, top of the key. Couldn't get it. Johnson had the tip. He came down holding his face. I'm not quite certain if there was, I'm guessing there was contact there. Typically you don't respond that way to nothing, but.
Leonhardt rims out the first.
Telling you, there's a guy I follow on Twitter, and pretty much every day he just talks about how free throws are free. And there's a lot of points been left on the floor in this ball game. Both teams, whoever loses is going to look back and say, if we hit our free throws.
0 for 2 from the man that sends us to overtime. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in OT. Down 1. Here's Cuff looking inside to Johnson. And it goes to him. Johnson with Arrington. Fall away. Short. Out of bounds off of, I thought it was off Davis, and we'll stay here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agreed with that. As I just said, I agreed with that.
We're a little excited.
3rd time's the charm.
Yeah.
Starting to lose some of our perspective from the near corner as well. Fans standing and cheering.
Inside, and Johnson gives AF the lead.
That's where you need to go. And I mean, they tried it, had that baseline shot, missed it, but I continue to feed 33 in this ball game. Live or die, advance or go home behind your senior.
He's got to be smart. Does not pick up 4 there. Redford trying to get number 5, Can't get it, tipped out. Arrington does get it to Leonhardt, and nearly stolen. Sampson with the flyby. And now sends out to Leonhardt to settle things down. Davis down 1, 1:40 to go in OT. Johnson, got to be smart not to pick up number 5 that way. Redford gives Davis a lead. The young man that left with the knee injury came back, and now it's 66-65. Cuff, pull up, rims out. Rebound taken by Sampson, and Johnson is playing with fire at that 5th foul.
Yeah, a couple times, even on that last possession for Davis, like, oh, that could be 5. Oh, that could be 5.
As Leonhardt holding up top. We'll hand off to Sampson, and now a foul comes. No, timeout. Timeout taken by Coach Sims. They'll have 1 left. 1:02 left in overtime. You're watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. 1:02 left in overtime. Arrington got to get it in and does. To Sampson, who terminates. Johnson there, Cuff there, and the last timeout granted to Coach Sims. 58.2 seconds left. I know we just came back. We got to take it. You're watching overtime in the 6A semis.
The American Fork Pit Band.
.58 seconds left. Davis clinging to this 1-point lead. Inbound in to Garf. Smith with him. There comes the trap. Garf steps through Cuff, sent over to Arrington. Remember, Davis does not have to put the ball in the air. They can force a foul and get the double bonus free throws.
Yeah, sometimes you got to foul here.
And there comes the Redford. And it was like they were waiting for Redford to get the ball, and that'll be number 5 on Franson.
3 starters have fouled out today for American Fork.
And down 1, and Johnson, the best player on the floor.
With 4.
With 4 as well. It's double bonus here for Redford. Back rims the first. And these are 2 teams that both play in the Utah Elite 8 tournament. They've seen each other, maybe not played each other, but seen each other a lot over the years as Redford does not get the first.
AF has 1 timeout left, Davis with none.
And nearly a lane violation and a free throw as Redford splits them. 2-point game. Where do they go? I think you got to go into 33, and here it is. Double team comes. Johnson misses the dunk and no call. Redford will go back to the line, and it is number 5 on Isaac Johnson. Missed the dunk to tie.
Oh, man. He's trying to go with authority, and I don't blame him, but it just comes off the front of the rim. And then the frustration foul, Dusty. I mean, that's one of those words like, I can't believe I just missed that.
Power dribble right to the rim. He doesn't miss those.
No. And there's no contact there. It's just one of those plays that, and you can see the disappointment for Isaac Johnson. And a young man going to go play for the University of Oregon. They're getting a good one, and what a pleasure and joy it was to watch him this his senior year. Talked about for me, to be able to finally see him like he's played on the AAU circuit and over summers has been a real treat as Redford makes the first.
Got the first, but the door's still open.
Yes, it is.
We won't do our send-offs quite yet. 3-point lead. After missing or splitting last time, Redford makes the first. And got them both. 4-point advantage.
A lot of PG fans are cheering. It's a 4-point ball game.
1 timeout left for American Fork. Up the floor with Cuff. Way outside, and Cuff hits! Timeout, Ryan Cuff, the final timeout, as Tanner Cuff from... That's a Ryan Cuff. What? Oh, yeah. Yes, timeout.
You know he's going to the bench right now saying, why has that not fallen until 21 seconds left in overtime? Cuff has had a number of open looks, Dusty, beyond the arc, free throw line, inside, and it's just been a tough day shooting. And it's the one with 21 seconds left from 25 feet that he's able to get to go in.
That's insane. Wow. And it's the way this game has gone. As 21.2 left, and Davis missing free throws, leaving this open a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you're American Fork, you're fouling immediately. And right now, everyone in foul trouble is fouled out. So it's one of those things where you don't care who gives the foul. You may have a preference on where you go in terms of who you try to deny entry and who you force to receive the inbound. But the way Davis has shot free throws, with the exception of Redford on that last trip, you got to feel pretty good about your chances, though. Redford right now with a shoe off.
Redford came down a little off a minute ago. So he hurt that knee last quarter. Now maybe got the ankle here. And they're going to hurry and spat him.
So he'll be off the floor.
So do you go after Vernon? But Vernon will be on the inbound.
Yes.
So on the floor is Arrington, Garf, Leonhardt.
I think
Sampson,
for me, I prefer it to not be Sampson, but I'll take my chance with Leonhardt and Garf.
Got it into Garf, and no call. Thought Cuff went for that steal, and now Arrington fouled. And wow. And Coach Cuff saying, hey, it was a travel, but he's also probably saying we saved us about 10 seconds on the other end with the foul on the inbound. Maybe they wanted the clock to run.
There was too much time left, Dusty.
Arrington calmly knocks down the first. .6 left. Split, and it's Cuff with the board. Here we go. 10 seconds to go. Cuff to the rim. Tied at 70. No timeouts left. Garf ahead. It's Arrington. Blocked at the rim and a foul.
I thought that was all ball, Dusty. Now, I don't know about the body, but that looked pretty doggone clean at the rim.
It wasn't called in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. All game long there's been contact at the rim. And then they get the foul here. Arrington, back rim and off.
Just saw a replay, and I'm not an official. I don't like it.
Arrington to give the lead. Got it. No timeouts left. Got to go full length. Smith to Flinders. And it's American Fork ball with a half a second left, and Coach Cuff wanting the foul on the inbound.
Yeah, so where's the foul there? We're going to call it down here?
Yeah.
Where's it down here?
And no Johnson for the lob. And
where's
Cuff is fouled, and it'll be Cuff going to line for double bonus free throws.
I don't want it to sound like I'm cheering for American Fork, but if you're going to call the foul at the rim on AF, then you've got to have the same type of discipline on this end. And the reality is they're trying to get a tip, and Cuff couldn't get his arms up. So if you're going to call a foul on the left side, you've got to call a foul on the right side. Davis fans don't like it. I get it. I wouldn't like it. But the way you just called a foul a second ago, you have to call that.
And they're calling it on the inbound, so not even half the second comes off. So Cuff at the line, need to make one of two. Got the first. No timeouts left. They're going to have to inbound if he makes it. If they don't, we are heading to double overtime. He's short! Double OT! We will collect our breath. You are watching the 6A semis on live.ksl and DeseretNews.com. Well, both these teams really want to play PG. Neither of them can close out regulation or overtime. We are now in double overtime, and Dane, AF playing 2 men down. Three men down.
4 men down.
That's right,
Stewart, Moyaki, Franson, and Johnson, 4 of their 5 starters off the floor.
And I love Coach Cuff say, hey, spread this out. You have 1 starter on the floor in Tanner Cuff, and he gets past Redford at the rim and a bucket. Each team has 1 timeout, double bonus, possession arrow belongs to Davis. Up top with Garf. Inside Redford. Nice move in the lane, tied at 73.
7 points in the overtimes for Brendan Redford. What a job he's done tonight.
Cuff walks it into the front court, over to Flinders. Got to be sure at these passes. Sometimes in these, get a little lackadaisical. Flinders send out to Smith. McKay Smith, when American Fork made that run in the fourth quarter, it was Smith knocked down the 3 to give AF their first lead. And now, got to be careful on the charge. Give the ball back to Davis.
Second personal on Smith.
And a heads-up play there by Sampson. He gave ground. He came right up to him. So now Davis could straighten this thing out. I don't think they will.
But they could.
They could. Remember, no shot clock in Utah high school basketball. Into the corner. Sampson will give back up top to Arrington. Now Leandhart.
Kids on the floor for American Fork that haven't played in the playoffs. And this is why depth becomes so important. And if you're a young man sitting on the bench, you never know when your opportunity is going to come up. Keep grinding, keep working, show up at practice, study, focus. Because it might just be a state semifinal when your team needs you to help out for their seniors that have fouled out.
And Sampson was hoping for the foul, got the bucket. 75-73, 2 minutes left in double overtime.
Again, spreading things out here.
Cuff for the lead. No, and the rebound to Leonhardt. And Ryan Cuff did not like the shot selection.
I was going to say the same thing. It was his son, but he looked down and it was just like, ugh.
Goes to the corner, Garf to Redford. Power dribble, got around, couldn't get it. Loose ball, tipped out, and it's AF ball. Flinders give it to Cuff. Tanner. His foul, they'll go to the line.
All right, so, I gave a little pep talk late in the fourth quarter to Leonhardt. It led to a big-time 3 to send to overtime. If you're Cuff, clear the mechanism. Been a tough day shooting, particularly from the line. Had a chance to win it. Forget about it, step up, breathe, knock these 2 down for the Cavemen.
Got the first.
And pretty clear right now that this is who wants the ball. He's a senior. He understands the only one of those starting 5 still on the floor, trying to deliver another game for this senior class at American Fork.
And he gets them both tied up at 75, 1.5 left in double overtime.
10 points in the overtimes now for Tanner Cuff.
Up the floor, Leonhardt hands off to Redford. Here's Garf. Where does Davis go for the bucket? They got a lot of options.
Yes, they do.
4 of their starting 5 on the floor. Garf has 4 personal fouls. Everyone else, a couple of 3. But Garf's the only one. You got to keep your eye on there. Number 21, he's underneath the hoop. There's Leonhardt. Will hit the 3 to send us to overtime. As inside of a minute we go. Down to 55 seconds.
And Coach Sams and Davis content to hold for this last shot.
And right now, Coach Cuff content. Seeing what's going to happen. 1 timeout for each team. Leonhardt working on Flinders and a charge. The same call we saw on the other end of the floor. And it'll be AF ball with 40 seconds left.
You're exactly right. And you know me, I'm about consistency. We get it on one end, got to call it on the other. I agreed with it. And AF with a chance to win again.
Smith holding out there. Garf with him. Garf, remember, with the 4 personal fouls. Flinders. I don't think Coach Cuff wants to shot this early.
No.
The way this has gone, it won't be the last shot of the game. 20 seconds to go. I think you let it go down to 15, take a timeout. There it is, 15 seconds and a timeout. Full timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. You're watching the 6A semifinals on live.ksl.deseretnews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Scoreboard brought to you by Heidemann and Associates. .3 seconds left in double overtime. American Fork basketball. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart, a Deseret News Rewind with you. And been a dandy. It's Tanner Cuff in the backcourt.
Is there any guess where else this ball was going to go?
Well, Cuff send over to Smith. 9 seconds, got to get it across. Smith had it stripped away. It's a timeout, Davis. Sampson with the steal. And it's Davis basketball.
Wow. What a play by the Davis D. And you're on that far boundary, and Davis just staying right with it. And we've seen a lot of times players come around on that swipe. And that time it worked for the Darts.
And I think they're asking for more time. Actually, where are they going to be inbounding? I don't know why they're holding down by the baseline here. Nothing will go the way that American Fork wants to end this game. And Davis, both these teams, Dane, play after play after play after play. You can talk about the free throws and missing opportunities, but they keep making plays to keep this game alive.
Unreal. What a ball game, huh? This has just been crazy.
And I tell you what, for American Fork, the longer this game goes, the more and more the advantage goes to the Davis. As Davis has got 4 of their 5 starters out there. American Fork's down to 1 of 5 starters on the floor.
I mean, you'd think that, but I'd argue Davis hasn't taken advantage of that. I mean, you've got your varsity versus your JV, and we're stalling the basketball for 2 minutes. So I don't quite know.
I don't understand why they were inbounding on the baseline, though. I don't know if it's past that timeline and goes down there. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and they should.
Well, it might be the free throw line.
No, they're inbounding on the.
No, I know, but if they're inside the free throw line,
Gotcha.
that'd be my guess.
I'm forgetting where he was tied up, but either way. 2.8 seconds left. Davis got to bring it the full length of the floor. Arrington gets it in to Leonhardt. Leonhardt at the horn. Wide right. Triple overtime. Are you not entertained? 75 all. We'll be back in a moment. Start of triple overtime. If you're tuning in to watch Corner Canyon Olympus, just stick around. They're waiting, we're all waiting, but this one just does not want to end. Triple overtime. The winner moves on to face Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, we'll send you out to that 5A semi as soon as this one's over. Psych, we'll have at least a 15-minute break in between them, but we will have that ball game. It's going to be a late night of basketball here at the D Event Center.
And the opening tip, controlled by American Fork. Both teams had shots. Well, first of all, Davis made a shot to send it to overtime. AF had free throws, 2 free throws down 1. Cuff split them. And then in OT, double overtime, both making shots. And it's steal! Arrington with the steal. Arrington at Cuff. Misses it. And it's a block on Cuff. And that is number 3. Put Arrington in the line for 2 free throws.
Got to commit. If you're Cuff, you got to either commit to that spot or you got to get out of the way. But again, the way Davis has shot free throws and that only being his third, not that huge of a deal, though. He's got to be real careful here because it's pretty obvious that Tanner Cuff is the offense right now.
Arrington made the first and the second. It's up the floor now with Tanner Cuff. Into the corner, a 3. Flinders with the board, out to Cuff, 4-3. And it's Leonhardt coming in for the board. Nearly a steal there from Smith, and now a foul to Cuff, that's number 4. It'll be double bonus for Jake Sampson.
And Cuff still down. When sliding in and kind of awkwardly, Ryder, good to see him up, trying to jog it off.
Funskovic did a quick trigger on that 3. I think he thought he would get a foul call. So Jake Sampson misses the first.
We just starting to get drafty in here because both teams leaving the door open.
Right. They're propping it open.
Killing our energy bill here.
Misses both. A chance to go up 4, still up 2. Cuff sends back, 3 on the way, off the mark. And AF on quick triggers on both possessions here.
Well, and the biggest problem is it's a bunch of one and dones.
3 from Sampson, off the mark, rebound. Taken by Smith, and I'll hand off to Cuff. As Cuff, free throw line J, yes, tied at 77. 2:35 on the rolling clock. Garf give it up to Sampson. Now Redford. Garf goes hard to the hole.
Good defense.
Rebound Arrington. And Arrington right now the only dart getting foul calls at the rim. It'll be Arrington shooting 2.
Flinder's going to pick up the personal. At first I thought it might have been on Cuff.
It's on Funskovic.
Oh, my bad. I thought I saw 14.
Arrington knocks down the front.
What is it about? I mean, you want to. What would you know about pressure? And these free throws.
And he rolls off the second. The seesaw's open. Cuff goes at Sampson, and it's blocked. 2 free throws to Cuff. Draws lots of groans from the Davis fans around us. It'll be. We don't have a dump button, so.
Yeah, our apologies there.
It'll be Cuff at the line for 2 free throws. And rolls off the first. And hits the second. Tied up at 78. We've gone Splitsville on a lot of 1-point games with 2 free throws. Leonhardt into the corner to Sampson. Send up top to Arrington. And now over to Leonhardt. Let's see if Coach Sims decides to take a lot of time down here as Tyson Garf comes out, hand over to Sampson. And it's Garf working on Flinders. Garf, pull up, back rimmed, comes out to him, stolen away by an AF, and it'll be Tanner Cuff walk up the floor with 1:40 to go.
And this is where Davis has brought the pressure up, and they've forced a few turnovers, actually.
McKay Smith, handoff, Funskovic over to Cuff. Redford comes out, hand over to Smith.
You know who's happy right now? Pleasant Grove. This is almost an extra half of basketball being played a day before the championship game by whoever wins this ball game.
Inside to Cuff, got Redford on him, backs his way in and scores. AF up 80-78.
15 points now in the overtimes for Cuff.
What if I told you there's a game that wouldn't end? Can Davis keep it going? Into the corner, Leonhardt. Arrington, now Sampson. Now Redford. Working on Funskovic. Redford over to Arrington. Got Cuff in the air, send out to Garf. 35 seconds now. Garf, hard take, and tied at 80. One timeout each. Possession arrow belongs to Davis. Crowd on their feet. Timeout. AF with 16 seconds left. We've said this before. Triple overtime. Tied at 80. You're watching the 6A semifinals. .3 seconds left in triple overtime. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart with you. Game 2 of the semifinals does not want to end. So if you're tuning in for Olympus and Corner Canyon, no, we're not on delay. No, there's nothing wrong with the stream. Just going to have to sit tight and wait. Smith to trigger the inbound, goes into Cuff. We saw this at the end of the second overtime. Smith brings it across. Smith tried to fit it into a tight window and a kick ball.
Not the first time the AF has tried to force things in the late stages.
Smith got to get it in, does to Cuff. 5 seconds, Cuff trapped, gets around, Cuff for the lead! Timeout, Coach Sims, 1.2 left.
25 points now for Tanner Cuff. How many chances has he had, Dusty? And right there, your senior making a play to try to get all the rest of the seniors one more ball game for American Fork.
And all those opportunities were not layups.
Yep. Wow.
But is there a Grant Hill Christian Leitner in the building?
Well, hey, the way Davis is it was a three-pointer at the end of regulation to begin this thing, right? And had a, just beyond half-court shot that distance was right. It was wide right, but it was a good look for Leonhardt, I believe.
Well, Leonhardt at the corner, yeah.
Yeah, you get a second here if you're Davis. You get a play on a run around one of the angles. You never quite know, man.
The way this game has gone, nothing will surprise me. I mean, I go back, here's this great story, right? 2004, 2005 state championship tournament, quarterfinals, AF, Orem. AF, it's a crazy shot to take the lead. I believe it was Spencer Toon. I'm probably off on the name. Inbound to, and is out on this floor, going this way. Tanner Lamb, three-quarter length shot to send Orem to the semis.
Dusty, I don't know if Davis is going to hit a half-court shot, but they may get fouled and hit 2 of 3 free throws.
Here we go. Arrington to trigger. Full length to Garf. He got it. Garf at the horn. AF staves off elimination.
Wow.
Triple overtime, 82-80. Cavemen move on to play PG for the third time.
I'm stunned, Dusty. I mean, the ability of American Fork, they looked out of this ball game for half of regulation, and to lose so many players due to fouls, to be able to pull it out late. And Tanner Cuff, way to shake off what was a tough night from the floor. He was the guy in the overtimes, had 15 points in the combined overtimes, finished with 25, and American Fork advances to the state championship.
6A championship game will be right here on live.ksl, DeseretNews.com. Olympus, Corner Canyon coming up next. For Vince Francis, Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litster. Thanks for joining us and watching what has been a classic of a 6A semifinal on live.ksl, DeseretNews.com. Commentary brought to you by Tosh, Orthopedic Specialty Hospital. Scoreboard brought to you by Justin Heidemann and Associates.